Hi, girls. All right, so I'm going to introduce you to somebody very special. Kind of introduced you to him this morning, the morning message. And the gentleman I would like you to meet is this guy right here. This is Martin Luther King Jr. He is an American hero. He is one of my heroes. He's a great, great man with a wonderful legacy. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about his story. So, when Martin was a baby, he was born, he lived in Georgia. And then when he got older, he grew up and he moved to Birmingham, Alabama. Yes, Alabama. It's a fun state to say. Alabama. And when he was a little kid, though, he was a lot like you. He loved to play, he loved to be with his friends. He loved sports, baseball. He was a big, big time baseball fan. Loved it. Rode his bike everywhere. And he was just a normal kid, just like you. Wanted to go to school, went to school. But then, as he got even a little older, he started to realize that things were different for him than they were for other kids. And so, what I mean by different was some other kids were able to go to better schools that he was not allowed to go to. They were able to go to better grocery stores that had a lot more variety of foods and snacks and fruits and vegetables that he was not allowed to go to. There were beautiful parks and playgrounds that he was not allowed to go to. And the reason why he wasn't allowed to go to these places was because his skin color was this brownish, beautiful color, and it wasn't the same color as, say, our skin and your skin and my skin, okay? They call this, most people would say that he would be considered a black person, okay? And we would be considered white people because they have brown skin that they call black, and we have like tan skin that we call white. It doesn't really make any sense, but that's the way a lot of people refer to people like Martin Luther King and people like us. Black, white. Okay? There's another word that they use too, that's Negro. Negro is just another way to say black in a different language. In Spanish, the color black is negro. So, or negro. So, it just means black. And because of his skin color, he wasn't allowed to do all the things that people who didn't have his skin color were allowed to do, like go to the fancy stores and go to the nice restaurants and go to the good schools, all because of the color of his skin. So when he was little, he had a friend, and they played together a lot. Then his friend was a white boy, okay, and they were really close. And then one day, this friend said to him, I can't be your friend anymore. I'm not allowed to be your friend anymore. And he left. And Martin was sad. He was sad. And this was when Martin wrote a biography about himself. He says this was kind of the moment in his life where he knew that he needed to do something to change the unfairness and the injustice that he was facing in the world when he was young. Now remember, this was a long, long time ago. This is not anything that's happening right now. And so Mr. King, he grew up, he became a minister like his father, and he had a church, and he had other jobs too, and he did a lot of reading and a lot of writing because he wanted to teach people about how unfair they were treating black people. All right? And not everybody liked that. There were a lot of white people that were like, no, the black people will stay with the black people and the white people will stay with the white people. And Martin was like, can't we all just live together and get along together and be friends with everyone? Right? So that was his dream. Martin dreamed that black people would have freedom to do and live how they wanted to, just like the white people had freedom to live and do what they wanted to. Okay? So, Martin Luther King, he became a wonderful writer. He wrote books, he wrote sermons, he wrote speeches. Books are for people to read. Sermons are things that he would preach to the members of his church. And speeches are things that he would, it's kind of like I'm giving you a speech right now. Something that he would say to a large audience of people. And so because of the injustice means he was being treated unfairly. Because of all the injustice that he and his family and all of his friends and all the black people like him were facing every day. I mean, they couldn't even ride a bus and sit at any seat they wanted to. They had to sit at the back of the bus where it was really loud and noisy and uncomfortable, right? So because of that, he decided, that's it. We're going to fix this. But he did it in a way that nobody else had ever done it. He went to war, okay, with the people that treated him poorly, but he went to war. He went to war with love. He didn't go to war to fight. He didn't go to war to be violent. He didn't go to war to hurt anybody. He went to war with love in his heart. And he used his words. And he was an amazing writer. And when he spoke, people just listened to him. And he spoke with love. And he spoke with kindness. And he spoke with authority, which what I mean by that is just people listened to him. And eventually, he started getting a lot of people to change their mind. A lot of people were like, hey, maybe Martin's onto something with this love thing, right? Maybe Martin is right, that we can kind of all just live together and we don't have to be separated. The word for that is segregated, right? We don't have to be segregated. We can live together and all of the kids can play together on the same sports teams, not have their own separate sports. And we can all go to the same grocery stores and we can all go to the same movie theaters, right? And a lot of people were starting to say, yeah, Martin, you've got the right idea. But then there were still some people who were like, no, absolutely not. You black people, you stay with your kind. And us white people, we'll stay with our kind. And things got bad for Martin. And eventually, after a long time, somebody did end up murdering Martin Luther King. What I mean by murdering him is they made him die. They stopped him. But, just because they stopped him, they did not stop his legacy. And by everything that he wrote and all of the things that he talked about, he did change the world. When he died, the whole world basically cried, except a few who were just not a very nice few. Okay? And he got his way, and he changed the way the world worked. After he died, shortly after he died, stores started letting everybody come, and movie theaters started letting everybody come, and schools invited all children, okay? And it was because of him. And there were a few other people, which we'll talk about too. This is Rosa Parks. She is another big reason why the world is a better place now, because of certain things that she did. Okay, so that's basically the story of Martin Luther King. He was a wonderful man. He was a husband. He was a father. He was an uncle. And he was a great, great minister. And I'm going to give you some more videos and clips to listen to a little part of one of his most famous speeches. A speech is when you stand up on a podium and you talk to lots and lots and lots of people. And he gave this one speech that forever, nobody will ever forget this speech. And it's already been probably 60 years since he gave that speech, maybe even a little longer. And people still listen to it every year, and people still think about him and live by the kind of world that he wanted us all to live in. So on Monday, we're not going to have school because we're celebrating Martin Luther King. That's how special he is, that we actually get to stay home from school and other businesses get to be closed because he deserves that much respect from us. So this is Martin Luther King. I am going to put a link to this book. This is a great book on your virtual classroom. And I'm also going to put a couple of other little clips and activities for you to do in honor of Martin Luther King. And no worries if you don't get it all done today, because I know today is building day. So you can work on it on your own time, either if you get bored over the weekend or if you want to get it all done today, peachy keen. I just know it's a little bit of extra work than you normally get on building day, but it's worth it because he's worth it. He's a great, great man, and we were lucky to have him for the short time that we did. So that is a little bit about Martin Luther King and what he went through as a young boy, and then he turned into a young man and an adult. And this was love. Love is the only force capable of turning an enemy into a friend, and he had a lot of enemies. And he eventually turned pretty much all of them into friends. So I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I will see you on Tuesday.